When we ponder the question, who is the richest person in the world, or who is the wealthiest figure in history, our initial thoughts often gravitate toward individuals from our contemporary era. Elon Musk, the mind behind Twitter, SpaceX, and Tesla; Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon; Mark Zuckerberg, the mastermind behind Meta; and Bill Gates, the visionary behind Microsoft, are the first names that come to mind. However, none of these billionaires is the right answer. While figures like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Gautam Adani boast fortunes in the billions, their wealth fades when compared to the affluence amassed by the entrepreneurs, emperors, and rulers of bygone eras. So, who's on top? Stay tuned to uncover the answer. Mir Osman Ali Khan. Being heralded as the wealthiest Indian in history carries significant weight, especially when juxtaposed with the opulent lifestyles of individuals dwelling in 27-story houses in contemporary India. However, none of these modern extravagances come close to the grandeur and affluence of Osman Ali Khan, the last ruler of Hyderabad. His reign as the head of the princely state, spanning from 1911 until India's annexation in 1948, places him in a historical context where notable tycoons like J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Rothschild were also making waves. The miracle of Hyderabad's prolonged independence amidst the presence of global tycoons can be attributed to the exceptional stature of Ali Khan, who earned the moniker of the wealthiest man on earth. This distinction becomes even more remarkable considering the era's economic heavyweights and the fact that Hyderabad boasted the only operational diamond mine globally during that time. Osman Ali Khan's role in overseeing the mint of a country, acting as the exclusive supplier to the global diamond trade, inevitably led to his monumental wealth accumulation, estimated at a minimum of $230 billion. The ruler's decision to reinvest profits into societal betterment, introducing advancements like electricity, railways, roads, and an airport, reveals a unique blend of wealth and benevolence. While enhancing the lives of his citizens, Ali Khan did not shy away from indulging in lavish personal acquisitions. His possessions included a staggering $100 million worth of gold and silver, a collection of jewels valued at over $500 million, and the illustrious Jacob Diamond, an hour in Spearingham worth approximately $50 million. To showcase his wealth on the global stage, the Nizam exhibited a gesture of grandeur by gifting Queen Elizabeth II with diamond jewels, a tiara, and a necklace during her marriage. John D. Rockefeller, being hailed as the most productive individual in history, stands as a testament to John D. Rockefeller's journey to becoming the richest man on the planet in the mid-20th century. His lifetime earnings, estimated to surpass a staggering $1.5 trillion, reflect the unparalleled success he achieved. At the close of his life, Rockefeller's net worth reached approximately $400 billion, a monumental figure that substantiates his dominance in the financial landscape. Central to Rockefeller's wealth ascent was his strategic control of the U.S. oil market, notably through Standard Oil. In the late 19th century and the early 20th century, he commanded a staggering 90% share of the U.S. oil market. This industry dominance laid the foundation for his astronomical fortune, a feat unparalleled by today's billionaires. Distinguishing himself from contemporary magnates, Rockefeller exhibited a unique approach to wealth management, extending beyond mere accumulation. One notable instance involved purchasing his own exemption from the American Civil War draft, a decision that likely preserved his life. In later years, he entertained the idea of commissioning British Prime Minister Winston Churchill to write his biography, a venture that, despite not materializing, underscored his visionary thinking. Noteworthy among Rockefeller's significant expenditures was the construction of family mansions, which endure today as cultural landmarks. These architectural marvels not only showcase intricate design, but also boast rich embellishments featuring exquisite pieces of art from renowned painters. Rockefeller, a trailblazer in his era, further demonstrated a penchant for automobiles, owning one of the initial cars ever produced. However, one unintended consequence of Rockefeller's influence was the inadvertent establishment of a standard requiring billionaires to amass ultra-expensive car collections upon reaching 10 figures in their bank accounts. William the Conqueror. While the modern royal family of England boasts an impressive wealth of $88 billion, their opulence pales in comparison to their forebear William the Conqueror, whose life spanned from 1028 to 1087, etched his name in history through the audacious invasion and conquest of England. His military prowess saw him seize lands and treasures spanning from Sussex to Yorkshire. The pivotal moment came at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, where he defeated Earl Harold Godwinson and ascended to the throne as King William I. Yet this victory merely set the stage for a lifetime of conquests and wealth acquisition. The narrative of William's reign unfolds as a relentless expansion of territories, each conquest contributing to his growing affluence. His demise in 1087 marked the bequest of a colossal fortune, estimated at the equivalent of $229.5 billion to his descendants. A significant portion of this wealth was derived from taxation imposed on peasants in Normandy, contributing to approximately one-third of his amassed riches. The dichotomy of either exceptionally affluent peasants or heavily taxed individuals teetering on impoverishment prompts contemplation. The remaining portion of William's riches emanated from the annexed British territory. Local barons, desiring to retain their lands and heads, pledged allegiance to the new king and incurred substantial taxes. William, deeming these levies insignificant, opted not to share a considerable portion of his amassed $228 billion. Embracing a desire for a more lavish lifestyle, William directed the majority of his wealth towards building infrastructure. His legacy is immortalized in the over 100 structures erected during his reign: castles, fortresses, churches, and the iconic White Tower. These edifices bore witness to his extravagant taste, adorned with intricate tapestries and a palette dominated by the opulence of gold and silver. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, whose life spanned from 1878 to 1953, stands as a unique figure in the annals of modern economic history. As the formidable dictator at the helm of the Soviet Union, Stalin wielded absolute power, coupled with control over one of the world's largest economies. Unraveling Stalin's wealth from the vast economic apparatus of the Soviet Union remains a challenging feat. Yet the fusion of his authoritative rule and the USSR's economic might positions him among the contenders for the title of one of the richest individuals in history. The intricate interplay of Stalin's dominion and the Soviet Union's economic prowess has led several economists to nominate him for the distinction of being one of the wealthiest figures of all time. The logic behind such assertions becomes evident when delving into the OECD data, which reveals that in 1950, a mere 3 years before Stalin's demise, the USSR accounted for approximately 9.5% of the global economic output. Extrapolating this to 2014 values, this economic influence would equate to nearly $7.5 trillion. Although this immense economic influence did not translate into direct personal wealth for Stalin, the sheer magnitude of the Soviet Union's economic standing conferred upon him unparalleled leverage. George O. Lieber, a professor of history at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, underscores Stalin's colossal power, emphasizing that he commanded control over 1/6 of the Earth's land surface without any constraints or counterbalances. However, the question of whether Stalin fits the traditional definition of personal wealth remains a subject of contemplation. Professor Lieber posits the notion that while Stalin's influence extended to the control of the country's wealth, categorizing him among the wealthiest individuals hinges on the elasticity of the wealth definition. It is a nuanced distinction, considering that Stalin's dominion over the nation's riches transcended the conventional understanding of individual wealth. Regardless of this ambiguity, one cannot deny Stalin's indelible mark on the list of the most economically powerful figures in history. Mansa Musa. Being wealthy and hailing from Mali in the contemporary context might evoke a humorous remark, but delve into the annals of the 14th century, and the standards were markedly different. In an era untouched by the ravages of colonialism, Mali stood as a resource-rich empire, and its emperor, Musa I, emerged as the epitome of affluence, boasting an estimated net worth of $415 billion when adjusted for today's monetary value. Mansa Musa ascended to power in 1312, a period when Europe languished in the throes of adversity, rampant famine, unrelenting warfare, and the ominous specter of plagues, including the impending Black Death. This dire situation provided a fertile ground for African kingdoms to rise, and Mali, under Musa's reign, soared to the forefront. The conquest of the city of Timbuktu, a pivotal trade hub in Africa, elevated Musa's standing, making him the wealthiest individual on the planet. In a grand display of opulence in 1324, Musa embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca, orchestrating a caravan that extended as far as the eye could see. Unfamiliar with budget-conscious travel, Musa traversed with an entourage of several thousand camels and horses laden with tons of gold. Along the journey, he erected mosques at each stop, underscoring his devotion to Allah. Musa's pilgrimage, characterized by extravagant displays of wealth, left a profound impact on the economies he encountered. His profligacy spending induced rapid inflation, causing local economies to falter and ultimately collapse. This audacious approach to conquest involved making the locals so affluent that their economy could no longer sustain them. As Musa's lavish exploits unfolded, leaving a trail of economic ruin, there emerges a tongue-in-cheek suggestion that the contemporary United States could glean some unconventional insights from Musa's playbook. Genghis Khan. When delving into the realm of the wealthiest individuals in history, the common image that springs to mind is that of an erudite visionary endowed with access to power, an enterprising spirit, and a knack for trade and business growth. Yet, Genghis Khan defies these conventional expectations. Widely recognized for his brutal warfare, which left a trail of devastation, mayhem, and massacres across Europe, he stands out as an unconventional figure in the annals of wealth accumulation. Surprisingly, Genghis Khan managed to amass a wealth equivalent to over $100 trillion, despite lacking the traits commonly associated with the world's wealthiest individuals. His unorthodox methods, marked by a disregard for traditional business acumen, included the invention of the first bioweapon. This innovative thinking, though not the type one would endorse, left an indelible mark on history. The consequences of his conquest tactics reverberated across the centuries, culminating in the recurrence of the bubonic plague, which claimed approximately 25% of the global population. While Genghis Khan's legacy is tainted by the ruthlessness of his campaigns, he exhibited an unexpected twist when it came to personal wealth. Temujin, his birth name, reflects a humble origin, born into slavery. Despite his immense riches, Genghis Khan chose to redistribute his wealth among his subjects, demonstrating a unique approach to governance. Remarkably, Genghis Khan's personal life was equally unconventional. With several hundred wives and numerous children, he navigated the complexities of familial relationships. The sheer magnitude of his family obligations would seem daunting were it not for the vast wealth he commanded, nearly $100 trillion, a resource that likely aided in managing the complexities of familial responsibilities. In hindsight, Genghis Khan's ascent to one of the wealthiest individuals of all time appears rooted in ruling a nation with an iron fist, infusing its economy with personal finances and exhibiting cruelty to neighbors. This narrative, while reflecting historical realities, also evokes parallels with certain contemporary world leaders. Augustus Caesar. Bestowing upon oneself the title of the first emperor of the world's largest country might sound like a contemporary political maneuver, reminiscent of what Vladimir Putin could potentially enact. However, such audacious acts are not exclusive to our times. Augustus Caesar executed a similar feat about 2 millennia ago, and the dividends of this strategic move significantly favored him. Translated into today's monetary value, Augustus's accrued wealth stands at an astonishing $4.6 trillion. While this colossal net worth may initially seem implausible, a closer examination reveals the tangible assets that contributed to Augustus's financial prowess. Notably, Augustus personally possessed Egypt, a region pivotal for sustaining half of the empire. The emperor's dominion was such that he could have leisurely enjoyed his coffee within the confines of a pyramid or perched atop the Sphinx's head if he so desired. Adding to this substantial ownership, Augustus inherited at least 10 million gold coins bequeathed by his uncle Julius, an inheritance equivalent to $200 billion in today's currency. This financial windfall served as a commendable foundation for Augustus's life, especially considering the substantial investment he made in infrastructure projects. His financial infusion into the construction of roads, monuments, and temples attested to the symbiosis of personal wealth and imperial finances. Moreover, Augustus displayed a penchant for the grandeur of public entertainment, allocating several million dollars annually to finance chariot races, gladiator fights, and various sporting events. Yet, perhaps one of his most crucial assets was his personal army, comprising 250,000 soldiers. Instrumental in realizing his vision of maintaining dominion over the country, Augustus ensured these troops were well compensated, with an estimated annual cost of $250 million in today's money. The expenditure on his army was, in essence, a small price to pay for securing his enduring rule, presiding over the vast expanse of the world's largest country and amassing a staggering $4.6 trillion in wealth. Emperor ShenZong. Emperor ShenZong, reigning from 1048 to 1085 during China's Song dynasty, stands as a key figure in an era marked by unparalleled economic might. The Song dynasty, spanning from 960 to 1279, emerged as one of the most economically potent empires in history, and under ShenZong's rule, its influence reached extraordinary levels. Professor Ronald A. Edwards, a distinguished Chinese economic historian specializing in the Song dynasty at Tamkang University, sheds light on the magnitude of the empire's economic prowess. During its zenith, China commanded a staggering 25% to 30% share of the global economic output. This economic dominance was multifaceted, stemming from a combination of technological innovations and an unprecedented proficiency in tax collection, which, according to Edwards, surpassed European counterparts by centuries. One of the distinctive features of the Song dynasty's economic structure was its remarkable centralization, signifying that the emperor wielded immense control over the economy. The emperor's authority permeated through the governance of financial affairs, contributing significantly to the empire's economic ascendancy. ShenZong's era exemplified a harmonious synergy between technological advancements, fiscal strategies, and centralized governance, culminating in an economic hegemony that resonated across the globe. Akbar I. If one were to inquire about the Mughal Empire, the initial response might evoke thoughts of a novel virus threatening global disruptions. Surprisingly, this Far Eastern empire, which once wielded dominion over much of the Indian subcontinent and the territories south and west of the Himalayas, hasn't left a profound imprint on Western cultural narratives. Nevertheless, its impact on South Asia, particularly under the rule of Akbar I, proves to be of paramount importance. At the zenith of his reign, Akbar is reputed to have commanded over 25% of the world's gross domestic product, GDP, a staggering testament to the empire's economic significance. Despite his astronomical wealth amounting to $21 trillion, a sum that may diminish the awe factor for some, the sheer scale of Akbar's riches remains an extraordinary feat. Imagine possessing $21 trillion. One might envision a life of seclusion and modesty. However, Akbar harbored a contrasting inclination. His lifestyle was a testament to opulence and luxury, surpassing even contemporary standards. Akbar's architectural legacy includes 3 magnificent palaces situated in Delhi, Agra, and Fatehpur, each adorned with a lavish display of gold that would likely induce an aneurysm in the eyes of even Donald Trump. The interiors, embellished with silk, marble, and an array of artwork, underscored Akbar's commitment to aesthetic grandeur. As a fervent patron of the arts, he poured millions into paintings, books, music, and various forms of creative expression. Notably, Akbar ventured into uncharted territory by attempting to forge a new religion, a blend of Hinduism and Islam. While this might be perceived as an act driven by ego, it was, in fact, a strategic move aimed at unifying a nation fractured by religious divisions. Regrettably, this endeavor met with failure, and the repercussions endured by India spanned generations to come. King Solomon. In comparison to this Jewish king, the preceding accounts might be viewed as tales of ill-fortunate hobos. King Solomon, a figure regarded in the Bible as the wealthiest ruler in the world, stands out prominently in the annals of history, albeit through the lens of the Book of Books, whose trustworthiness is a matter of profound faith. According to the Old Testament, King Solomon's annual receipt of approximately 25 tons of gold for an impressive 39 consecutive years stands as a testament to his opulence. Picture this: an accumulation sufficient to construct a palace entirely from golden bricks, reminiscent of a grand-scale Lego creation, albeit significantly more extravagant. Scholars and experts, considering tribute, taxation, and other income sources, have ventured to estimate that Solomon's wealth during his reign could be equivalent to a staggering $2.2 trillion in today's currency. It's worth noting that due to the nature of the information source, the Bible, we are left to conjecture about the nature of Solomon's expenditures. Unlike contemporary billionaires, Solomon's alleged virtuous spending excluded the typical indulgences of booze, drugs, and lavish pursuits. Instead, as chronicled in the Bible, he dedicated his wealth to the construction of the first Jewish temple in Jerusalem. Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie, a Scottish-American magnate and philanthropist, rose to prominence during the 19th century and left an indelible mark until his passing in 1919. While the oil industry was dominated by Rockefeller, Carnegie steered his endeavors toward the steel sector, establishing the Carnegie Steel Company. His financial legacy, estimated at an impressive $372 billion during his time, attests to his profound impact on the industrial landscape. Carnegie's wealth was not confined to personal pursuits. Rather, he channeled his resources into societal betterment. His philanthropic endeavors included the establishment of over 1,600 public libraries across the United States, reflecting a commitment to fostering knowledge and education. Tens of millions of dollars from his fortune were injected into various educational initiatives, underlining Carnegie's conviction in the transformative power of learning. In the twilight of his life, Carnegie underwent a remarkable transformation, transitioning from an industrial titan to a dedicated philanthropist. The final years saw him generously donate 90% of his wealth to a myriad of charities, universities, and other organizations. Nicholas Romanov. Nicholas Romanov, the last Russian emperor, left an enduring legacy that extends beyond the tumultuous political landscape of his time. While his reign may be infamously associated with the rise of communism, Nicholas managed to amass a staggering wealth of $300 billion. a considerable fortune even by contemporary standards, despite the dire economic conditions faced by his impoverished subjects, who were resorting to consuming grass and dirt for sustenance. The source of Nicholas's immense wealth, intriguingly, lies in a distant corner of the world, Alaska. The Tsar orchestrated the sale of this oil-rich peninsula to the United States, driven by the fear of potential British acquisition. Little did he know the vast wealth of resources concealed within the land at the time of the sale. However, the financial windfall from this strategic transaction contributed significantly to Nicholas's opulent lifestyle. Social injustices were glaringly evident, with the stark contrast between the Tsar's immense wealth and the dire poverty experienced by his citizens. The extravagant palaces in St. Petersburg and Moscow, including the iconic Kremlin, stand testament to the unparalleled luxury in which Nicholas and his family resided. These opulent residences rival the extravagance enjoyed by today's billionaires. In reflecting upon these intriguing glimpses into the wealth and influence of historical figures, we find ourselves traversing a tapestry woven with power, opulence, and the enduring consequences of their actions. Which historical figure's financial journey fascinated you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this exploration of wealth throughout history. For more captivating narratives, subscribe to our channel and join us in unraveling the fascinating tapestry of the past. Until next time, bye for now.